Do you know what it means to build your own legacy if you're a woman over 55? I think you want to stay on and listen to this because I've got a bunch of information that I think you'll like. Uh, it's 5 o'clock in the morning here, so it's dark. I'm on my patio listening to the birds, and the breeze is beautiful. And the first thing I'm thinking of is, what do I want to do to contribute to the universe, to women, about my story? Now, that's part of building a legacy. You don't have to physically do anything. You can mentally do things that will contribute. But if you do want to build a legacy, let's say you want to build a digital legacy where you're going to document your thoughts and your emotions and your feelings through your lifetime, so your family, your friends, and even your coworkers can know about you. This requires planning. This requires what I call emotional readiness. This means that you have to be prepared to want to share this information. Why? Well, because it's embarrassing to talk about your life if you're going to be truthful. Now, that's not to say that you can go ahead and you can do it's called legacy preservation. There's a lot of tools that are available. You can use these tools. You can sit in front of the computer and you can answer the questions. But the question is, are you going to answer them honestly? And I bet my bottom dollar you're not. You're going to write what you want people to know about and what you to make you look good. What I'm suggesting is that in order for you to be emotionally ready, you have to be able to, you don't have to do anything, but you want to be able to look at what your life was about, struggles, problems, no matter what it was in your lifetime, face it head on, even if you have to revisit it and it hurts, and accept the fact that this was my life and be proud of it. Now, that means that if you robbed a bank, if you were really a bad individual in your life, that's okay, because that's part of who you are right now. There's no shame in that. There should be no judgment in that. It is part of your life. If you go hiding that in creating your legacy, you're not being truthful to yourself and you're not being truthful to those that you're sharing your story with. If you decide you don't want to do a digital legacy where you want to document everything, you don't have to. But I would suggest, if you are a person that is homebound, or if you are in retirement and you are looking at only the fun activities to do, you're going to miss something because you're not in that contributing mindset. You need to have that contribution drive where you want to be able to continue with things that are going on. Because the truth is, the older you get, the more things are taken away from you. Your health is being taken away, your mobility, your mental clarity, your cognitive issues, the brain fog sets in, the people around you are dying, and you are getting more and more and more left with just yourself. Well, if you're not happy with who you are and you're not willing to face who you really are, then it becomes very, very lonely and you end up fighting a battle within yourself. So the idea of legacy to me is being able to share who I was so that I can continue on. I would love to have people know who I am, and they might think, well, what the hell do I want to know about her for? And I get it. But just in case you do, and you know somebody around you that might want to know, the grandkids, the great-grandkids, the friends, the neighbors, all of the ones that were around, they might not have known who you were. The funny thing is, when my mother was dying, and this was in 1990, I hadn't really taken the time to get to know her. So we spent a lot of time talking about the things that she wanted in life that she wasn't able to fulfill. In those days, we didn't have We didn't have the digital legacy products, so this was all verbal and nothing was put into writing, which I really regret to this day. But I got to know that she wanted to be a concert pianist. I didn't know that, but she told me that she did. She didn't even play the piano. My dad was the organ player, so it was interesting. We sat and we talked about the things in her life that she had not shared with me, but it took until she was 70 years old to tell me, and the reason is because I never asked. But if she had been guarded about wanting to tell me things, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if she was ready to really tell me the truth about her life. I don't know. But now I do know that when I tell my story, because I'm emotionally ready and I've been using the golden method that I created, I have the techniques and I don't have the shame. I don't have the feeling of being judged. And if I was being judged, that's okay too, because if it's a fault, if it's a problem to say who you are and what you are and what is going on in your life and what has gone on in your life, if that's an issue, then people shouldn't listen to it. But if they do want to know who you are, I think the honesty and the integrity of the honesty is what's really very meaningful. Now, that's not to say that you can't add in the things about your life where you want your grandkids to know about the recipes that you want to hand down. But think of it this way: what is it that you want to leave behind? What is it that you want to have everyone know about you? I look at a lot of these seniors, and what they've done is they're continuing to want to accumulate wealth by having stuff. And I love the fact that Dyer, I don't know if you know him or not, but Wayne Dyer was a motivationalist, and he passed away not too long ago. He literally got rid of all of his possessions, and he became a minimalist because he knew that the stuff was representing things in his life that were no longer meaningful to him. The stuff in his life just didn't matter. He gave his kids the money that he was going to give them after he passed away. He gave it to them before they died. He helped the friends and the family members and even strangers by giving them the money that he had so that they could have a fulfilling life. And it gave him satisfaction to see these people enjoy what he had given them, the gifts that he had given them. And he gave them a lot of gifts, not only monetary, but emotionally, and all of his teachings. So he really set the groundwork for people to realize that you can be in this mode where you're hoarding it all, and you're keeping it inside, and everything is internal and it's all for me, and it becomes self-centered. And that's what happens, unfortunately, when many of us retire, because we want to hang on to what we've built and we don't want to let go of any of it for fear we won't be able to survive. But what I feel is that if we continue to keep contributing, no matter what is taken away from us, and we keep contributing to those that will follow us, and they can learn, and their wisdom increases by knowing about the types of people that came before them, whether they're relatives or not. Somebody might want to know about my legacy because it's pretty juicy. I'll tell you that, and it's pretty unusual too. So anyway, these are the things that I think that are important to us. Important to me, actually. They might not be important to you, but I would hope that they would be important to you. Building a legacy that is meaningful means telling the truth, getting the facts down, the facts that you remember. And this is another thing too, because you might remember something in your life that is totally incorrect. It may never have really happened that way, but to you, it did happen that way. What I have done is I've gone back mentally to that particular time and thought, is it really, did this really happen this way? And I revisit it. Sometimes it's been really painful because I'm not really crazy about looking at the bad times in my life, mostly the good times. But the bad times always keep creeping up, and we all know this too, and we kind of put it aside. But I've looked at it and then I walk right through it, and then I'm able to document what my life was about during that time and what happened. What I found was that many of the things that I've done in my life, I've also been able to provide solutions. So let's say I had a really bad situation. I always turned it around and made lemons out of lemonade. I mean, it made lemonade out of lemons because it gave me the opportunity to change somebody else's life based on my setbacks. So I like to turn problems into solutions. And anyway, that's it. As you know, I've created the Golden Method. I'm very, very proud of it. Part of the Golden Method is creating legacy so that you can have emotional readiness into whatever you're doing in the future, and particularly if you are facing some health situations where your life is going to change because you're in a different environment. You might be in a hospital at home where you're trying to age in place and you don't know what to do because now the inside of your house is filled with machines and things to keep you alive, and you're lonely and you have caretakers, but you don't have that emotional relationship. So now what I'd like to do is help you to create that motion inside of your home that's going to bring you back to yourself and give you the opportunity to continue to contribute. So that's where my thoughts are for today. And you see the sun's coming up, so you and I just welcome the morning together. I love you, my friends. You golden babes have just been wonderful, and the men that support you, that watch me and are following me, I love you too. Without you, where would the women be? Love to you.